got about 3 people, you know.
Crossbow geezer. Was that the
No, Raoul Mo, back old days, talking 10 years, 15 years, probably even longer. He went on a mad spree. Yeah, Google it. But either way, my point is to say that the problem with a lot of these men in the UK, you're black. Like, you lot are singing Kumbaya and we need change now. When do we need it? Right now. Change ain't coming. Funny. You adapt and move accordingly. The man are getting upset because I'm saying I don't have no problem with the feds. I can drive with my seat lean back, music blasting, hoodie on. Because once they pull me, everything's legal.
Hey, but here's another thing with that, Mark. Right? We're not running around doing anything illegal. So what? I'm not going to even tell you the last time the police stopped me. So I've got no issue with them. I got no issue whatsoever. There's some very good police officers and there's some terrible officers. Not to mention the deaths in custody. People don't talk about that. You know, that was their means of before getting their little rocks off by abusing prisoners in cells, and sometimes they get killed. You know what I mean? Like, that's more than an option now. As Mark said, they're going to say at some point, okay, let's give some more armed police. Let's not even do that. Let's let the armed police patrol more frequently, and let's expand the armed force capability.
Yeah, man. That was a win for them. That Carver case was a win for them because they're able to say, "Yo, okay, we've made a mistake, but with the right person. Let's keep it real, Noble. We've made a mistake, but with the right person." And you keep giving them ammunition, you'll see how they're moving. Man think that they can move mad and shoot and do all of that, and these feds, they're not playing games, man.
And they shouldn't.
And what you man are doing is you're giving them more reason to up these man's attributes of what they can carry and what they can get away with.
Yes.
And I'm telling you now, they will be able to get away with a lot in the future because you got to think about it. All they need to do, a lot of men don't really understand how a British man's mind works, you know, the higher echelon British man, you know. They don't understand. They haven't been taught. That's what I'm starting to understand. A lot of men haven't been taught how these men move in the UK. Remember, you know, this small island that we sit on here today,
it's like a rock.
colonized half this world, you know.
Yes.
You got to think, these men's ancestors, no matter what your personal view of it, I don't agree with it, but they were able to do it. You think that that bloodline's dead out? Do you think that bloodline's dead out? These men are smart. All they would have had to do, you know, is a next arm stop or something, make an officer take a stray, make one of them man blast after the feds and take a stray, or make one of them officers get ran over or something. Because you know what that does then? It gives the public, it gets the public on their side. So all these men that are now going on Instagram, they're laughing at you, man, because it's easy for them to get the public on. They've already got, the people that they want on their side are already on their side. They don't care about them, man, with the dashikis doing spoken word. They don't care about them, man. They don't care about them, man. You, man, are not influential. They care about the people they're trying to prove, like, yo, we're not institutionally racist. That what they've proved it to that crowd now. They don't care about a man who's standing up saying, they don't, because next time you get stabbed or shot or whatever, you know, we can't seem to organize ourselves to say it's wrong what these men are doing. We can't. It's like man are scared to even say it's wrong. It's at that point now,
which is weird.
Like, come true, Noble, come true.
I was to say it's weird because it's innate. We see what's right and what's wrong. But for some strange reason, and over the years, it's built up where it's not even turning a blind eye. People are just seeing through the badness and don't call it out. And let's not. We're not being. I'm not being disrespectful. You're not being disrespectful. We're simply saying it as it is. It's the truth.
As it is.
If if look, I've never run around in the black community and caused havoc. I haven't taken anyone's child, mother, or anybody from anybody off this plane of. I haven't done nothing like that. Why would I do that? I've done some wrong in my time. Oh, don't get it twisted, and the Most High is going to judge me upon that there. But in the whole, like, people have checked me back in the day. That's what people would do. Your neighbors would check. Hey, yo, how comes you're out this late? Or yo, make sure you're not doing nothing wrong. I'll go tell your mom. There's none of that going in. As I've said, they've destroyed us, man. And it's going to take people. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the majority because, as you say, Mark, the crowd likes to follow.
Yeah.
Where the masses are, that's where the asses are. So
Facts.
we've got to be defiant and be proud that we don't want to be an ass along with the masses. We want to be individual. We want to represent black people, so-called black people, because we're brown, even though black is a dominant and powerful color. We are brown people that come in all shades of brown, right? Show the world who we are. Just like when you're interacting with people, Mark, of other nations, they know, oh shit, I got a real one here.
Yeah, man.
I ain't got a knuckle dragger who can't even fucking string 2 damn sentences together.
They don't understand. They can't work me out. They can't work me out because everything they expect me to do, I do the opposite.
This is it.
Like, you see, ignorance and aggression is something you have to understand, Like, a lot of these brothers have grown up thinking that was the answer. Aggression and ignorance. And a lot of them have carried themselves through life doing that until you will meet that point where you're met with either ignorance or an aggression or the opposite to that, or somebody, or like a police or something. So a lot of these men are walking time bombs anyway. You're a walking time bomb. You're actually a crash dummy and you don't know it. You're actually a crash dummy and you don't even know that you're a crash dummy. You're just waiting for the crash.
Yep.
And that's it. And everybody in your life who condones that or who don't tell you what you're doing is wrong, they can't cry when you're gone. They can't. I mean, they can cry because they've lost a loved one, but they can't be, bringing their tears anywhere else because you sign up for this life. You sign up for it, man. You sign up for this thing. It's like if you sign up to be a test subject for a new drug.
Come on.
What you're signing up for is side effects that you don't know. When these men are on road, you're signing up for side effects you don't know. And if these men are angry at members of the community calling them out, you need to be angry at Eamon Holmes and them kind of people. Eamon Holmes jumped online and went crazy on these men. But guess what? They won't have no smoke for him because they've conditioned the white man to them. It's like God to them.
God,
I'm being serious. The white man's like God to these man. So when they see me, they're not used to a old school brother who the white man's not God to me. Never has been. But these men grown up, they were lying down in the cot, and when they looked up, it's a big old blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus this in. And from there, they've always worshipped that to where feds come and they're scared. They're scared. They're scared, noble. Like, when feds come, like I said on the thing, when feds come, like, you remember the movies, like, I'm holding court in the streets?
Yeah.
Them ones, like, that's a bad, I'm saying that it's a lost soul, but that's a man who knows I ain't going pen. I've done what I've done. I'm going out here. I'm going to bang out with them. These men ain't on that. When they come, they're scared. But black man, they turn into John Wick, the Terminator, all wrapped into one because they hate themselves.
So much they hate themselves, Mark. And that crash test dummy analogy is perfect. But let me give you more. Let's give some more meat on the bones with that there. A crash test dummy is what? It's an object which is to mimic a human in a car crash. And then what do? We analyze the data, don't we? So we can improve the vehicle, so we can save human life. This is what these people are. Now, if you don't want to examine the data and see the experiences that these people are dishing out, the wickedness, the hurt, the pain, and you don't extrapolate that data and say, that's wrong, that's not something I want to be part of, then, there's something wrong with you then as well. because it's as an old school. This is they're blackboards. What is a blackboard? You get white chalk and you write on there. These are they're showing you signs, and people do not have the eyes to see or the ears to hear. What is raw in front of them? What is up is down. What is left is right. What is bad is good.
Yeah,
They
man.
flipped this whole thing, sibling. But we got the cure, man. We've always got the cure, but it's only for the ones who have the ears and the eyes.
Exactly, because anybody can turn their life around. But the first thing you have to do, you gotta see value in yourself. A lot of these man, they don't see value in themselves because they hate themselves, and in turn they hate others that look like them. And that's what it is. So these men spend their life. Imagine spending your life running around with a firearm looking for another man. Like, imagine living your life that way, and then when you do hit the man, you go studio and you make a song. I was on the up block. I was on the up block. Like, is that what we are now doing? Well, that's what we've been doing, and it's not being called out. Like, this is normalized, and then we expect things to change.
To change, yeah.
Obviously, you're always gonna have crime and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's got to the point now we've put it into the music. Then a man showed me the alleged crew that Carver belonged to. Yeah, they got a tune with gigs, 23 million views.
Yeah.
So you got to think to yourself, you've made it cool. You've made it cool because when I was younger, it was the garage MCs and all that. It was cool. You had to either be a DJ or an MC. I wouldn't even chat to you. If you weren't a bad boy, if you weren't affiliated with one of the two gangs, if you wasn't a DJ or an MC, you was a nobody. You was a nobody. So you know how much man wanted to MC just because of that, wanted to DJ just because of that, wanted to be a bad boy just because of that. Because if you wasn't, when a man used to be bowling through town, yo, that's my man. He's from A, B, or C. I've said it before. I remember at the time, these times, Devil Man was hot. He was living in ERD at the time. And in town, Devil had a crowd following behind him, you know. A crowd, Noble, was following behind the man. This is when I was a youth. A crowd's following behind him, you know. Like, yeah, Devil Man. You know how much man wanted to MC through that? Because this was like a brother, you'd see him like at the bus stop and all that. But then once he started getting known, it became like hood famous.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were chasing that. And yeah, so it's what it is.
Hey, I've got for the people who watch the Rescheme, female wise, please do comment down on why women, trustfully not yourself, or far from imagine yourself, have the propensity to be attracted to wicked, evil men. Well, not even evil, just wicked men who quote unquote are bad boys. Why do women seem to float and flock towards the bad and negative, where there is a plethora of good upright men which they pass, and then they have these problem where obviously they procreate and then they create a life, and then it mashes up, and then they're a single parent, and then they hate the bad boy, potentially poison the child, or the child was just raised with a single mother, without that male guidance. Like, please, women, put some comments to what drives that, because in my experience, Mark, and it's sad, I see so many women, and that's what they want. They want criminals.
Conditioning. I need a soldier. Someone who's gonna ride for me. I need a soldier. How many songs could we pull out the hat right now?
Yeah.
Remember, these gal worship Beyonce, you know, she can't do no wrong. They call it Beyonce's internet. Remember, these kind of women were singing that. I need a soldier. Where them gangsters at? So eventually it rubs off, innit? These men are seen as, just like when the pimping culture was promoted, being a pimp is probably one of the low down dirtiest things you can do. But that was promoted. I'm a PIMP, everyone's dancing. So that's what's happening, and with that, it was able to creep in. A bad boy, you see Belly, DMX is in the yard, yeah. Next thing is in there holding up the thing. Like, it was promoted. It ain't cool to be with no 9 to 5, brother. It ain't cool to be with no man who's not on that. So a lot of them girls, I told you the story before, that girl that I told you about back in the day, and when I started chatting to her, all she was chatting about is I used to link this man, I used to link that man. What? Because that's what's cool.
Yeah.
That's what's cool to her until she catch breed. And once you catch breed now, then you're going to realize, yo, like I wasted my time. And this is what I'm trying to say, that a lot of these women are promoting a lifestyle that's not really conducive in the long run. Like in the long run, it's not conducive. It's not conducive. And I've always said, when you ignore red flags as well. If me and you go to a restaurant today, Noble, yeah, and we select a table in that restaurant, but the table we select, we can see the kitchen. Yeah, we can see the kitchen on the table we're sitting at. Now we're watching the chef scratch his balls, sneeze into his hands, scratch his ass. Are we gonna still eat in that restaurant, Noble? Or are we going to get up and say, yo, we gone? Okay, so that's the same what you do when you ignore red flags in a relationship.
Come on.
You ignore, once you got to look at everything. Now, I understand no one's perfect. You got to take the good with the bad. But there are certain things you can't ignore.
No.
And a lot of women have ignored that. And down the line, when they do get pregnant for these guys and stuff, there's no accountability. That's why I said even in that show, these women need to take accountability, because a lot of them are the reason for the child going that way. Not all fathers. There's a lot of fathers that have walked away willingly, but there's a lot of men who I've spoke to North who have literally just been like, yo, you're not seeing the youth. As the years go by the time he gets to 12, 13, now he starts hitting puberty. The mom can't manage him. She can't manage him. So now it's like he don't respect his dad because you've fed him poison about his dad. Yo, your dad's not about, your dad, he left you, this, that. So now the man hates his dad, he's full of anger. The mom don't want to call back the dad now. And eventually, the youth's either gonna, there's two ways it can go. He can either step away from that and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do for me and find himself. That does happen a lot. Or we can go down the path of using the anger to go out there and do bad. Do you know what I mean? And there's no man there. There's no input there. That conversation's not had enough.
It really isn't. And because it's all socials, there's not much unless you program the algorithm the right way in regards to your liking and stuff. There's nothing that's going to be proactively manhood centric outside of the foolish Tate folly that's going to give you any kind of real, oh yeah man, I like that, yeah man, that's something I can model myself towards. He's married, like Bud Crawford. Why isn't he plastered everywhere?
They can't do it. They can't plaster a Bud Crawford as a role model, because that's everything that's right with us. Like how he moves and the family structure. They don't want man to see value in that. Like, look at the content that's bashing the family structure. That's in the algorithm heavy, because you can't promote the family structure, because that's a tool, Noble.